but now it's too late. Now you must die. Fuck, I died. Yeah, that was karma. That's okay. I brought this upon myself. What? Hello? How did that not hit? It was on it! It's fine. Game just sucks, I guess. It is what it is. Like, that was very clearly on it, right? How is that not hitting? What? Is it just bugged? Like, visual glitch, it's not where it looks like it is? The bits interface is it's confusing because they don't want you to use bits, they want you to send hype chats. You know why the underwater combat feels complete garbage? Because one of my characters died and it literally didn't change anything. Because my characters don't matter. 2.0 versus 3.0 versus 4.0. 3.0 fucking clears so hard. Because it had a bunch of new things in terms of exploration and all. And like, in my opinion, Sumeru exploration, like early Sumeru exploration, was very good. It had some actually good world quests. The Archon quest was actually quite good. And more importantly, we had actually new combat things that were incredibly fun to play around with. I think 3.0 is the best patch Genshin has had. It's hard to compete with the release of a whole new element. That's true, but like they could have competed. If the underwater combat was fun, it could have competed. But like the thing about the underwater combat is you can play around with it for an hour and you've mastered it. Because there's only 3 different abilities, right? And it's the main issue that I have with it is that it's not difficult for them to design abilities for underwater combat, right? Like it really is not. They don't even have to balance it because they can like put specific enemies that are only vulnerable to a certain type of attack, which they have, right? The barnacles are only vulnerable to the counter attack and shit like that, right? So it requires no like thought in terms of game balance because it's like individual thing, like tailored to each boss or whatever. And they only have to do one and maybe like one ability and one variation of the ability, right?
I wonder what my dear sister Lynette is doing right now. Missing
the
me to
difficulty is
death,
making
I'm
it playable
sure.
and mobile. It's not difficult, man. But like the point is basically just it's very, very easy to make abilities for the underwater exploration. And the fact that they only did 3 is just so incredibly disappointing to me. Like, they just need to give us some more variety. Give us like 10 underwater abilities. It's still not that many, but at least there's a little bit more variety in the exploration. With only 3, it's just so bedge, you know? Exploration was never about difficulty. That's not what we're talking about, though. I'm not talking about difficulty. I'm talking about not being boring. Only having 3 is boring and repetitive. You can make it just as easy, but have 10 different types instead of 3. And it's a huge step up from what they have. 10 would be very confusing. No, it wouldn't, man. It'll be hard to distinguish between 10 different abilities. No, it wouldn't. Like, I think you're approaching this with the assumption that if they had decided to put 10, they would do the exact same system. But like, here's the thing. You can like divide up abilities in terms of type of things that they do. And the ones that do something that feels different are a different color. Instead of being blue, they're red or green. In 4.0, we'll probably have more in future Fontaine areas. That's a fair point, right?
So long as the audience
But
thinks that
the main issue that I have is so much of Fontaine's exploration is underwater. And like, if you're only gonna give us 3 abilities, you shouldn't have half the map be underwater. Because there's not half the map's worth of fun with only 3 abilities. Maybe like a quarter of the map's worth of fun, sure. But like, the second half of your underwater exploration is gonna feel so boring. Because you've already fully explored what you can do with the abilities. Pierre. Aesthetic critique. Principles of aesthetics. It lacks tension. What's going on? I feel like we're missing something. How you say? Decisive. Ah, that's right. This camera is the engine of inspiration for my paintings. My name is Depierre, and I am a painter. Most pleased to meet you, mademoiselle. Most pleased indeed. Now, I would normally treat a newfound friend to a coffee, but alas, there is no cafe nearby. Well, why don't you take this Fanta? Let us have a toast, and we'll consider ourselves formally acquainted. Have you been to Fontaine before, by the way? Ah, then you're in for a good time. Head into the city and see the sights, like the waterways stretching out overhead. Then you can head out into the streets and see the intricate machines, even if not all of them have aesthetic value. Well, in the opinion of this humble painter, anyway. And, finalement, you can sit yourself down at a cafe and appreciate a cup of coffee. Who knows? Perhaps someone will come to chat you up while you do so. Still, if the person who comes up to you claims to be from some sort of camera club, then be on your guard for their words of folly. There are those amongst I can't read the word among without whatever. There are those amongst them who are engaged in it, in any case. Just as they have done for Fontaine, they will destroy the cultural life you should have shared in. Now, this is no mere fear-mongering. Can you guess what they speak of in this club? If we speak only of pictures, then those taken by cameras are far superior to paintings. I mean, just listen to that. If we speak only of pictures, nonsense. And it is but nonsense! No matter how loudly they proclaim it to be the truth. Hello, dear. I was going to make some radish soup, but the radishes that my late husband used to love are high up on the mountain. Whoa! You used to be married, Granny? Yes, dear, I was. But that was so long ago, and these knees of mine can't make the trip up the mountain anymore. What a long journey it is to get those radishes for this soup. So what you're saying is that you want to get some radishes to make some soup that your late husband used to like. But you have bad knees and the radishes are really high up there. Paimon thinks we should help Granny. What do you think? We should, or we should, but it's option B. That is very kind of you two, helping out an old lady like myself that has bad knees. That is what Paimon does, help people. The radishes are up the hill over there. A hill up there, you say? We should go to the hill up there. Come on, Paimon is on the case. Walk 5 feet toward the hill. The radishes should be around here somewhere. Let's look around here in places that you couldn't walk if you had bad knees in it. You already picked up the radishes and are back at the NPC, but Paimon is still talking. And you have the radishes that I need for my knee revitalizing radish soup. Need to select radishes from inventory individually and press accept in case. Thank you for going all the way for an old lady like me. Here, let me teach you how to make this delicious radish. Paimon, but still can't believe you were married. Why, yes, I was. His name was Milligan Forsyth. Man.